All right, Dad, I want you to take us on a tour of your house. We're going to go in the back door because that's where everybody comes in your back door. Nobody even knows about the front door, do they?
You ready?
All right, yep, we're ready. So this has been a true working utility room, hasn't it?
Yes, it
We've
is.
thawed many a frozen calf right there.
That's right. We bring them in here and thaw them out. Many of them.
This is like your veterinary corner.
Yeah. Yeah, this is my veterinarian corner over here. This is all my veterinarian stuff here. This, all my pills and stuff, Scasfield pill and vaccination, and keep it all. And on that, and then on the refrigerator is all my vaccine here. You have to keep it. Well, my vaccines will stay here. This is my vaccine. I have to keep it for cow, keep them from getting scours and other things.
So truly, you're pretty much a veterinarian without a degree.
I do all my veterinary work. I do all my calf living with a little bit of help, you know. We had 3 sets of twins this year, so
you've learned a lot. All this stuff around here reminds me of your days fishing with Granny.
Yeah.
Y'all did a lot of fishing when you were dating.
Yeah.
With your dad, and then you also did a lot of river fishing when you were older and had a little more free time.
Yeah. I want to see if you can take this picture in here. Can you see the farm here one time? Can they take that picture?
Oh, wow.
It's not the best. There's another one over here.
That was the old days when there wasn't a drone. They would fly over in an airplane and take it.
Yeah. You see it was starting the grapes back there, looked like. Yeah.
Yep.
This me and my little brother. No, they didn't. That's Progressive Farmer, I think.
So Dad, tell me some memories about you fishing with Granny.
Fishing?
Yeah, what were some of your favorite things about fishing?
Well, fishing with Granny, she was real patient, you know. I get kind of frustrated if it wasn't biting good, but she stayed right in with it. But she really enjoyed fishing, and we'd turn the canoe over up in Elk River up in, we had a cabin up on lake, up at Alanoa, Missouri. We got all the equipment back, but the water wasn't about waist deep, so we was safe, you know. But she was quite a fisherman. She loved it, you know.
Then the best part would be eating it, right?
Yeah, and they always call me a scribbler. I'm always figuring out stuff with a pencil and paper. You know, just like I sat down here with all my notes and stuff. And this is all my records on my cow calf. This year we had I tell you how many calves we got this year. We've had so far, we've had 49 calves born this year on the farm. We may have 2 or 3 more and that'll be done for the year. Always, I'm always scribbling.
Yeah, it doesn't matter, any little piece of paper, there's always figuring and scribbling and notes being taken. And
that's my order for.
I will say, Dad, for 90 years old, you've got good eyes because you sure write tiny, and I can barely read it.
I have for my age, my mind is pretty darn good yet, you know. I can't complain, you know.
Yeah, and this is your famous refrigerator with all the.
I still can argue with Donna every once in a while.
You and I do argue every once in a while, don't we?
Yeah, yeah.
Yep, you and I can.
This friend over in Steele, Missouri, gave us this thing, passed it out. Jenna's aunt had that 3-in-1 hug, you know. We've had that for about 50 years. Yeah, yeah, right here, 50 years. And this is my younger brother still living. Pete. He's 94-year-old. He lives at Mountainburg. Yeah.
All right. Well.
And this is, I sit here a lot of time, watch stuff grow out there, and watch Vernon's garden. Vernon is we got 2 wonderful son-in-laws. Vernon really loves farming. Larry's not much farm, I don't think, but he's a good builder.
Yeah, you and Mom have sat there many a
We sat
day
there.
and had breakfast
We sat
together.
there, had breakfast usually right there. And
Read your Bible.
Yeah, and when she wasn't feeling good, I'd tell her, I said, we didn't know what was going on, and she would be here, sitting here, and she'd be in bed, and I said, now you stay in bed and you come back, I'm gonna go check cows, and but I'll have the coffee made and bring the paper in for you. And a lot of times she'd be back up having coffee, reading the paper. And one morning I caught her getting up. I said, what are you leaning over here for? She said, oh, I thought I'd start breakfast. And I said, I told you I'd get that when I got back. You didn't get that message very well. Well, she wasn't feeling good at that time. And it was just a week or two after that when she passed away. I mean, it all so sad.
You took good care of her all through the years, right to the very end.
Donna was going on a cruise. Well, go ahead, everything's fine here, and it was. And it's still unbelievable that it just exploded on us, But I tell you, my two grandsons, David really helped. We had to get her on the floor, and she fell this night. I just able to roll her over, just where she fell right there.
All right, well, let's.
Yeah.
You got a little bit of keepsakes from your mom.
This is where I keep all my records. This is all my farm records. I keep all this. Every time I get a bill, I record it in these. It makes it easy. And this here is my checkbook, all right? Donna always said, she remember me. Remember me always writing my check for church every Sunday, And,
you never bragged about it to anybody else, but it's something that Debbie and I always knew that you did. Every Saturday night, you would sit there, write your tithe check, and have it on the counter waiting to go to church every Sunday. Never missed a Sunday.
We fell in love with this little church down here. I left a little Methodist church up Fayetteville with about 12 young couples, but when we got out here and went second Sunday, we went down here and the people were so lovable and the nicest people you ever met. We just stay out here. In 60-some years we've been a member of that church, We seen a lot of people come and go. And me and Jenna, we donated, financed one of the songbook, Heavenly Highway, Heavenly something, John.
Oh yeah, we'll see that when we go down to church.
Yeah,
then.
we'll get that. I'll get that down there.
Do you want to say anything about any of these dishes that came from your parents, or do you remember anything about any of it?
This is this set here. That is came from about 4 countries, over Austria and Germany, but they're all the same thing. And my aunt, my daddy's sister lived in Fort Smith, and her husband was a salesman. He was always buying stuff. And this
tell us their names.
Huh?
Tell me their names.
Aunt Ellie and my grandma Simco lived with them, and my grandpa Simco lived with us in Mount Bird. They had no rest homes back then. They stayed in our home. They had to split them because Mom and them couldn't take care of both of them. Donna, get one of them crystal and bang it, would you?
That, like this stuff right here?
Yeah. Bang that.
Bang it. Oh yeah, it's heavy lead crystal, isn't it?
Now, we had all that crystal. The woman there in Springdale, which is in her picture, and at that time, went $1,000 each one of those was that set at that time, and then 4 pieces of crystal.
But your Aunt Allie.
Aunt Allie, yeah.
That was hers, and then what about this? Was this Aunt Allie's or your grandma's or who?
Yeah, that's the same one. Yeah.
Okay, now I remember these. Y'all got these from your grape growing years.
Yeah.
We had a lot of things, collections of grapes.
Grapes, yeah.
Chicken things. Yep. Those were the years. That reminds you of a lot of work right there.
Yeah.
Mom collected these little bird things.
Yeah.
She liked birds. Y'all always liked birds. And I can remember sitting here. This is where Mom and I would play our piano and duets together.
I grew up with wood stove, mountain burn, we had wood. Then we got coal, then we got propane, this sort of thing. But I still use a wood stove.
It went from a fireplace to a wood
Yeah.
stove, didn't it?
Yeah, I still use that some. I did have a fireplace, but shoot, didn't have wood. That far out, 10 feet, you freeze to death with it. Burn about 15 racks of wood, no heat. But I usually get too hot for the kids. But
You all got this picture because this reminded you of the church at Harmon.
yeah,
It even
Yeah.
had the stained glass
Yeah.
windows.
yeah,
So that's a good
Yeah.
verse to remember.
yeah.
And it says you're from the rising of the sun to the going down.
Yeah.
That's about how long you work a day, from the rising of the sun till the time the
Yeah.
sun would go down. That's how hard you
Yeah.
worked on the farm all these years.
Yeah.
Okay, is there anything else?
Well, this is my brother Hayden that lost in World War. He was a P-38 pilot right here. He was going to college at Russellville. They were mobilized in the National Guards. All of them went to El Paso down there. I forget what camp. But he went to Alaska. He also was when the Japanese went to Lucian Island. He was there. They had about a week battle with them. They moved down there with about 4 or 5 ships, but we won that battle. And we came back to the States and went to flight school, and he could have stayed there and been an instructor, but he said that's more dangerous than going to war. So he had 33 missions. He was a photo reconnaissance pilot stationed in Burma and flying out of Burma over taking pictures before and after bombing. And he went up to test his plane one night and went in the nosedive and wasn't never anything to bring back. He went in the river. And I kind of talked to a lot of people, said that Allison engine in this plane was a running sucker, but when it went out, it went out. And that we figured said he was probably up there about 38,000 feet when that thing. And that double fuselage on that plane, there's no rejector, in it, so he didn't have a chance. The only other thing, he just blacked out, could have blacked out, but I think.
Well, we're very grateful to you and to him and all your brothers for serving our country.
Well, Hayden, when he went, the government gave him if they got killed, they give the parents $10,000, and he wanted his 2 younger brothers to go to college, but neither one of us used that money. We said, well, Mom and Daddy need it worse we do. We'll make our way through college. So.
That was very nice of you. So you've enjoyed all these pictures of Mom. Is this about when you met her?
Yeah.
Is that about the time?
Yeah, she's just about high school. Probably graduating out of high school, yeah. Boy, was she sweetie.
And I remember this is one of your pictures that you love because she actually made that shirt.
She made my shirt the first Christmas we were dating. She made that shirt for me. That's blue.
She was an amazing
Yeah.
seamstress.
Yeah.
Okay, is there anything over? Oh, come here. We got to talk about this. This is good. These were your dad's shoes.
That was my daddy's shoes when he was a baby. Yeah.
Yep, they're little bronze shoes.
So,
He had a little narrow foot. And there's your dad, Tom.
Those have to be a real
What was his name?
Thomas Hayden. Take a picture of Debbie there in the nursing thing there.
Well, that's all of Debbie's.
Where's your picture, Donna?
I don't know. Somewhere. And I guess here's your mom and dad when they were getting married.
Yeah.
Iva Pearl, and his name was Thomas Hayden.
Yeah.
And then right next to it were Mom's parents,
Yeah.
Glenn and Sally Poteet.
Now there's
She was
picture of
Watson.
That's a picture of my younger daddy, but he's younger right there.
Right, that was him.
Yeah.
All righty. Well, you've got lots of pictures of Mom around.
Yeah. Yeah. They say she was quite a.
We've had this room filled up with people cheering on the Hogs many times, haven't we?
Many times. Many times.
And I remember where we used to put puzzles together or play rook
Yeah.
or pitch. Remember when we were first married, you and
Yeah.
Vernon and
Yeah.
Mom and
Y'all go to church, some of the church providers playing, you go with us.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. This is my den.
This is your man cave right now.
Yeah. That's
Well, this is a picture just representing their marriage license.
I want to take that picture.
Oh yeah. Well, I think we got that already the last time, but
That's
Sure.
one of my favorites. That's pretty. That's not too old a picture. That's
so Dad, I don't know what we're gonna do with these.
here, Don. I want to take me. I mean,
Oh, you want a picture?
this is the planes that were, about brother flew in World War II. My oldest grandson put this one together on the right one. It's I don't have me out, but he found this and look out. Now, do the wings on that, see how stiff it is. Now, look at this one.
Yeah, you and Jonathan put that
I think
together.
he gave $125 for that. But it's,
Well, he wanted you to have. Whoa! Uh-oh.
I broke it. That blame.
Oh, you didn't break
It's
it.
just saying all here.
They didn't break it. It's all right. It just sits right back on there.
But John, I got two grandsons. I guess I give that probably to John's grandson, the other one to Hayden. One of my great grandson, they named him Hayden after my brother. You know, he just bought how many? 4 months old.
He's 6 months now.
6, yeah.
So, Dad,
Well, that's my two girls here.
do you remember how? I want you to talk about how did you and Mom decide to name? This is me. How did you decide to name me my name, Donna Joe?
Okay, I can tell you why. You remember Donna Reed show, television?
Well,
That was family, Donna Reed. I loved that. She was a pretty actress, and I loved that show. All black and white, Donna Reed show. And
and then Joe after you.
yeah.
So why do you? How did you come up with Debbie's
I
name?
want to do both of you start with a D. And Donna and Debbie, you know. Somebody said, "You mean Deborah?" I said, "No, Debbie." I said, "If a name were Debbie, they would call her Debbie anyway, if they call it Deborah, you know." So no,
Yeah.
it's Debbie Lynn and Donna Joe.
All right. Was Lynn a particular reason for Lynn?
No, just kind of went together with it. It's,
Y'all just liked
the
it?
main thing I want is something that both names start with a D.
Yeah.
That means daughter.
Yeah.
Okay.
Two D
we
name
about ready to go
daughters.
to church?
Just a minute. In just a second. All right. So.
What did you do with that picture? You did? Yeah, here. I want him to take a picture of this right here. You need more light?
For what?
Here.
I'm good.
Oh, yeah. There we were as high school graduates.
Yeah.
And we're not going to say that we always agreed with much Bill Clinton did, but unfortunately that fell
Well,
down. But
my mother really liked this guy.
as a governor, or when he was what?
Yeah.
He started out as a governor.
He came to, Mama donated land at Mountainburg for the park down there. She also donated land for the health clinic.
Yeah.
And my daddy donated some land to the part of the school, and my grandpa, and then my grandpa donated land for the Presbyterian church there. Now it's a library for the high school. They built a new Presbyterian church, you know. But,
So this was Bill Clinton thanking your mom
see,
for.
Mama wrote letters, and they wrote 2 letters back to her, and she said there would be another day, and some one of these letters said, and there will be another day, and
Well,
but don't tell what they might be worth.
I don't know. At least,
You know,
at least it's nice.
I wrote down there to see if they had a copy of the letter she wrote to him, you know, encouraging him. That's reads it back. And but I think she see probably him being young, seeing my brother Hayden, you know. Hayden might have been a lawyer if he got out, but he'd been an airplane pilot, commercial airplane pilot, I'm sure.
I probably like this picture better.
Yeah.
This was a picture of Jesus that hung in Mom's mom and dad's house.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think I'll follow Jesus more than Bill Clinton.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Let's
go in this room.
I had to vote for Bill Clinton because of my mama, but I wasn't because of Bill Clinton. But he was a smart guy.
Okay. Okay, so this room has Grandma Simcoe's furniture in it.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about.
Well, this is, I think it's a mahogany, if I'm not sure.
Maybe your cherry.
Yeah, or cherry. No, it's cherry. It's cherry wood. Yeah. And,
But it's not. You said she bought it about in the 50s or 60s because why?
yeah, our main house burned. I mean, it had them solid, big headboards, you know, up to the ceiling almost. Just no telling what those things would have been worth, you know.
So all the furniture and all the house was burned.
They went downtown about a quarter of a mile, or about half a mile, to get groceries that Saturday, and that thing went up, all it was gone. It was all over. It had to be an electrical thing from top bottom, yeah.
That's so sad.
Yeah, I didn't know until I got home from college. I was Arkansas Tech, came home and found the house had been burned.
Do you have any idea who made this bed cover? Who crocheted this?
I sure don't.
I think it came from Aunt Allie. I think maybe she.
I think it's Aunt
I
Allie.
think she did, and then Mom put it together to make it be.
I'm pretty sure that's Aunt Allie, because they did a lot of that.
Yeah, I think she and her mom would
My
do
grandmother
things.
and aunt, they did a lot of this, because
It might have been a
Aunt Allie
tablecloth
had a
or.
degree from university in 1976. No, 1876.
Yeah.
Never did work a day in her life. Unless they're playing bridge.
I guess that was.
But she didn't hear me, did she?
I don't know.
Yeah. Now this is.
And there you are.
That's when I was in the Army.
There's you.
Yeah.
And there's Mom. Is this about when you met? This is about.
She's just high school age.
This is about what she looked like when you met her.
Yeah.
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 Well, and then this next room.
Yeah. This is your room, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was Debbie's room.
Yeah, and that was your room.
And now this was my
And
room, but it's
that
got,
had to be a real old piece over there out of my wife's. I'm sure that's marble. That's pure marble top of there.
yeah, I think this is a quilt that my grandmother made.
Yeah.
Sally would have made this.
Yeah.
And this was a bed from their room and her sewing machine and
Yeah.
the dresser.
Yeah. Sewing machine.
Now I'm going to put you on the spot. What's one nice memory you can think of your mother-in-law, Sally? What's one of your favorite memories from Sally?
Well, of course, Sally had put up a husband. Didn't know when to keep his mouth shut. She was more serious, and he kidding all the time, and she didn't like that, and he never did learn not. But
Well, no, I said positive memory of your mother-in-law.
she was a good. She could sure cook a good breakfast when we went down there.
Ooh, I remember those biscuits and gravy.
Oh, biscuit and gravy! I tell you what, yeah. No, she was a really religious person, you know, really. But
She loved Jesus.
Yeah, she did. Yeah, Sally had a hard life growing up. See, she lost her mother when she was really young. Her daddy remarried, almost married a woman just about the age of Sally. It wasn't much difference, you know. And Sally had one sister and two brothers by his first wife, and then he got married and he had one daughter and four sons. And that's where I was real good friends with Theo. We was roommates at the university and did the same kind of work that we worked together. Go and get milk and pasteurized milk. We set pins at the bowling alley down on Dixon 3 nights a week, you know. So.
Well, I think one thing that Sally, my grandmother, taught Mom was how to sew,
Yeah.
how to cook,
Yeah.
how to can,
Yeah.
how to work hard,
Yeah.
how to support her husband,
Yeah.
raise a family. So
She always had good meals.
yeah,
And Glenn would bring some work hands in, you know, and I know one day he had this guy named I think his name now, but Glenn caught a lot of fish, and he took him a mess of fish, and he's already in bed. And one day he said, "Well, Glenn, I just got to think, man, might die for morning. I just got to cook them fish last night." and Glenn, Jenna was down there, and he said that eating lunch with him, he's working for Glenn, said, "Boy," said, "that tea is good." Sally, who made it, said, "Oh, Virginia, my daughter." Boy, and what one like that be worth? Yeah, but they was real hard worker and didn't take advantage of anybody, you know. Honest people, just grubber out, you know. And he did well whenever, you know, he
raised chickens.
Chickens and cattle. And now see, they lived up Missouri for a while, Boudreaux, Missouri, and Mississippi County. And Sally didn't like it up there, so they had that farm back south of Russellville, so they moved back there.
Did they raise crops?
They had cotton up there.
When they were in East Arkansas.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And then what kind of chickens were they?
Broilers.
Broilers, and I remember going to their house and having to go down early in the morning to milk a cow.
Yeah.
I didn't like homemade butter at that time. I wish I could have it now, but
yeah. Oh, he loved buttermilk.
Yeah, we always had to have real butter.
The buttermilk about twice the cost of regular milk.
Oh, Papa T was a prankster. He loved to trick us and make us think we were drinking sweet milk, but it would be
cornbread.
buttermilk.
They loved cornbread. They'd have biscuits for breakfast, and she'd have cornbread for dinner and supper, you know, whatever left on that, you know. Boy, they had some good meals, I'll tell you. She was a good cook, yeah. Well.
All right, anything else you want to show us about your house?
I believe we covered everything.
All right.
I'm going to turn the light off.
Well, why don't you start going and getting in the car?
Okay.
And then